Morning, Pickles. I said, morning, Pickles.
Oh,
Oh, what's wrong?
I'm starving.
But you've only just had breakfast. You're always hungry, Pickles.
There's not enough bananas in the world for me.
How can you eat the same thing every single day? Doesn't it get boring?
Bored of bananas? Never. Today's story is about people who ate the same thing every day for 40 years.
Oh, okay, that's a very long time.
Indeed it is. Hey, Leroy, why do monkeys like bananas?
Oh no, another joke. I don't know, Pickles. Why do monkeys like bananas?
Because they find them appealing. Get it? Appealing?
Ha ha ha! Can we have that story now?
Good morning. My name is Anne, and I've got a story to tell you about our hero Moses, and it's taken from Exodus chapter 16 and the first part of chapter 17. It's about the Israelites who had left Egypt about 2 months ago, and they are now in the desert. Poor Moses. He really is in a pickle because the Israelites had started to complain to Moses and his brother Aaron. They were saying that they had all the food they wanted in Egypt, and now they're in a desert and will starve to death. So Moses prayed to God, and God said he would send bread from heaven. The people should gather enough for each day, but on the 6th day they should collect enough for 2 days. Aaron told the Israelites to come before God because he has heard their grumblings. And the glory of God appeared to them in a cloud. God said to Moses that at twilight, that's the end of the day, they will eat meat, and in the morning they will be filled with bread. And this is how they will know that I am the Lord your God. In the evenings, quail came. Now, quail is a small game bird, so it's a bit like a pheasant, but quite a lot smaller, but it's meat. So the quail came in the evening, and in the mornings thin flakes that looked like frost appeared on the ground. The Israelites didn't know what it was. Moses told the Israelites it is bread, and they were to collect what they needed. Moses said, "You must eat all of it in the evenings and not keep any for the morning." But unfortunately, some of the Israelites kept their bread for the morning, and it was full of maggots and really smelly. Moses gave them new instructions so that they had enough on the Sabbath day, but this time they were to save it until morning, and there were no maggots or bad smells. The Israelites named the bread manna. It was white and tasted like wafers made with honey. Sounds nice. But they ate this food for 40 years. The Israelites continued to travel, and they remained in the desert. And again they started to moan and grumble and complain because they didn't have any water. So Moses again prayed to God, and God said to Moses, "You've got a staff." You can see it, he's holding it in his hand. And what God instructed Moses to do was to strike a rock with it. And then they will get water that flowed from the rock. Wow, isn't God amazing?
Oh hi, I was just testing all my stuff ready for my camping trip at May half term. I love going camping, and so I was just checking I got everything, my camp kitchen, washing up bowls, stove, mugs for tea and a kettle, very important. And of course, because this is England, a raincoat and a blanket. And I was also testing my tent. I've not put the roof on it yet, but I'll definitely be needing that. I wonder what your favourite food is. What's the thing you like to eat the most? And I wonder if you've ever been camping, what your favourite camping food is. So we're just going to take a few minutes to answer those questions, just chat amongst yourselves. So what's your favourite food? And if you've ever been camping, what's your favourite camping food? And then I want you to answer a third question. And that is, if you could only eat one thing for the rest of your life, what would it be? There you go, off you go. I wonder what things you came up with. My favourite food is roast dinner. I love gravy. And when I'm camping, I love bacon pesto pasta. Or if we're somewhere that's got food vans, definitely some churros or some chips from the food van. But I don't think there is one food that I could eat every single day. I think anything that you really love, if you ate it every day, you'd soon get bored of it. Dare I say it, even chocolate. Now in our story today, we heard of two amazing miracles. There's actually three in this section of the Bible that happened when the people were in the wilderness. Do you remember last week? They were in captivity, they were slaves in Egypt, and God set them free, and they passed through the Red Sea to safety on the other side, and they praised God and they thanked God when they got to the other side. But now they were in the desert, and they didn't have much food, and what they had quickly ran out. So they started grumbling and complaining, and they called Moses over and they said, "What are you doing about this?" And Moses said, "God, I don't know what to do with these people." The first thing that happened was the water where they were camping was bitter, and they couldn't drink it. It tasted disgusting. So they complained to Moses, and God said to Moses, see that piece of wood over there? Take that, throw it into the water. And as soon as he did, the water became sweet and they could drink it. Isn't that amazing that God could just fix that water and make it drinkable? So the next thing that happened was that the people ran out of food. So they complained to Moses, and Moses spoke to God. And God said that he was going to provide them with food. Every morning they'd come out and there was food all over the floor. Now the food that landed was called manna. And manna means, what is it? Because they went out and looked at it and they said, what is it? And it was wafers that tasted like honey. So I reckon they're a bit like frosted flakes. So you come out in the morning and you find frosted flakes all over the floor. They were told to gather up enough for one day, but on the day before the Sabbath, their day of rest, they were told to gather up enough for 2 days so that they didn't have to gather on the Sabbath. And do you remember what happened when they disobeyed God? That bit was a bit gross, wasn't it? The third thing that happened was they ran out of water and they were attacking Moses, and he did not know what to do. So God said, take that staff that you held over the Red Sea and hit that rock with it. And he did what God said, and as he did, the water poured out and they had enough to drink. Now we often think about how much God's people complained when they were in the desert. But you know, they were actually there for 40 years. Camping for 40 years, can you imagine that? So I think it would be amazing if God rained food down from the sky. But I think even I, after a few months, a few years, would start complaining that it was a bit boring. In Egypt they'd been slaves, which is awful, but they had shelter and they had food, and now they were in the desert and they didn't have any of those things. Now sometimes we can take the things that we have for granted, and I know that a lot of us over the last year have realised the things that were really important. So we take for granted that we can go and visit our friends, that we have an amazing church to go to, that maybe that our parents cook dinner for us, or all these things that we have. It's only when things are taken away that we realise how much we value those things. So we're going to take some time now to be thankful, not just for anything, but for those things that we often take for granted. So I wonder what those things are that we take for granted, that God has blessed us with, that people have done for us, that we want to say thank you for. So we're going to make a craft now. It involves making a quail, which was the other thing that God sent down. And on the quail, I wonder whether you want to fill it with all the things that you want to say thank you for. For today's craft, you'll need some card, some pens, pencil, some glue and some scissors. Make sure you ask a grown-up's permission before using scissors. I've got some craft punches, so I'm going to cut out some circles using the punches. You need 2 large circles and 1 small circle. Here goes. You'll also need to cut out a rectangle from your piece of card. It's up to you how big it is. First thing you want to do is take the 2 big circles and fold them in half. Then take them out and glue them back to back like that. Then on both sides make some slits. And use your pencil to help you curl them round. Then you want to take the tail, cut some slits in the tail. You might want to stick the tail in before you glue the bird together. Then your bird needs a head. Now it's not quite ready because it needs a little beak. Just cut a triangle out of a different colour, yellow or orange or something like that, and stick it onto your bird. Then if you've got some googly eyes, you could put one of those on. I don't have any, so I'm going to just draw my own. You might want to do one on the other side too. We're trying to make a quail, and a quail has just a little feather coming off the top, so you might want to do one more feather. I think my circle is a bit big for his head. You could always cut it down smaller afterwards if you want. Now the final thing we need to do is think of the thing we want to say thank you for that we take for granted normally.
I won't be afraid. You are with me. You are right beside me every day. Even when it feels like everything's going wrong, I can look up to you, God, and find my strength. Oh, 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 your love has lifted me. Oh, 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 above the raging sea. Oh, 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 and I just gotta say, oh, 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 your love makes me brave, and I won't be afraid. Your love makes me brave, I can face anything. Your love makes me brave. I was lost and afraid till you found me. You lifted me up and gave me strength. Anywhere that I go, you go with me. You give me the courage to live each day. Oh, 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 your love has lifted me. Oh, 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 above the raging sea. Oh, 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 and I just gotta say, oh, 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 your love makes me brave, and I won't be afraid. Your love makes me brave, I can face anything. Your love makes me brave, and I won't be afraid. Your love makes me brave, I can face anything. Your love makes me brave. Your word will never wait. Your word will help me to stand. I know I'm safe with you. I know I'm held in your hand. Your word will never wait. Your word will help me to stand. I know I'm safe with you. I know I'm held in your hands. Your love makes me brave, and I won't be afraid. Your love makes me brave, I can face anything. Your love makes me brave, and I won't be afraid. Your love makes me brave, I can face anything. Your love makes me brave. Your love makes me brave. Your love makes me brave.
All this talk of food, I really feel like eating a banana, but I don't have one.
Perhaps you should stop moaning about not having a banana and be thankful for all you do have. You could make that amazing quail craft and write a thank you on it.
As long as I don't have to eat the quail. All those feathers. Blech!
It's made of paper, Pickles. It's not for eating. And if you do a good job, I might just be able to find you a banana.
Woohoo! In that case, I'm off to get started. Bye!
Bye!